Today I'll be discussing about the most common questions that I have been getting in my online programs and memberships. So I thought of doing the live stream instead of going for the regular recorded video. If you don't know me yet, and if you're new here in this group, my name is Ishan Arora from PriMovers, which is an online pain and performance rehab platform. Today I'll be discussing about the most top questions that have been getting in my online programs. So let's get started. If you are someone who's already having the back pain, or if you're someone who doesn't have the back pain right now but would like to prevent the back pain for long term, then stay tuned till the end of this live stream, as you may find the answers that I'll be providing in this live stream helpful. Also, let me know in the comment box below whether you're watching this on live or watching this on replays, so that I can answer your questions accordingly. I'll be going and watching the replays, and just in case if someone has a question, I'll be answering those questions as well. So let's get started with the questions that I've been getting quite frequently. The first question that I get most often is, why do I get the back pain despite having the fairly active lifestyle? Now, it's important to understand that it's very mandatory, or it's imperative for everyone to keep themselves active in the form of doing the regular walk or doing the household stuff. But doing all that may not specifically help you with your back pain, or may not get you stronger to prevent the back pain for long run. And so it really depends on the root cause that you have for your discomfort or the back pain that you're already facing. So if your back pain is basically because of the lifestyle you have, for example, if you're sitting for too long, then basically you need to get the right diagnosis, which will evaluate the root cause of a pain or dysfunction. And once you know the root cause of a pain, on the basis of that, the program should be decided for you. So again, if you're getting the back pain because of doing a particular activity, or basically because of the lifestyle you have, so it's mandatory for you to get yourself examined thoroughly by a healthcare professional, which will let you know the root cause of pain. But doing the regular activities such as walking or doing household stuff or picking up any random exercise program that you may find it online or on YouTube may not help you specifically with the back pain. So it's important to rule out the root cause of a pain and dysfunction before you get started with any activity that you're doing. Having said that, such activities such as walking may help you with certain kind of back pain conditions. So if your lifestyle involves too much of sitting, the walking will help in improving the mobility of your back, because when you're sitting for too long, you're kind of getting stiff, the lack of motion in the joints is setting in, the muscles are getting inflexible, but once you start moving, you basically undo that posture or undo that bad habits, so you start feeling the difference in your pain and dysfunction. But if you're doing any household stuff to keep yourself active or to prevent the back pain, may not help you. Rather, that may get you exhausted by the end of the day. So it's important that you figure out what is the root cause of the pain or dysfunction you have in the back, which is causing the pain in your case. And on the basis of that, you select the exercise program, or you select the activity that you would like to perform on a regular basis. The second question that I usually get is, what do you need to do to prevent the back pain? So again, if you already have the back pain, it's important that you get yourself examined thoroughly by a healthcare professional such as physical therapist or a doctor. They will help you rule out the root cause of a pain or the root cause of a dysfunction in the back, and on the basis of that, they can provide you the best care plan of action, basically the plan or the routine of exercise that you should be doing regularly. If your lifestyle is if your pain is because of the poor habits or the lifestyle bad habits, such as like you're sitting for too long at a stretch, and then you need to basically break the monotonous bad habits to feel the difference in your pain as well. So for example, if you're sitting for too long for your office work with a bad posture, like you're slouching, and again right now I'm facing the camera, and the camera is not at the right height, for example, then I may start feeling the discomfort maybe in the neck or maybe in the back, because again, I don't have the right settings, first of all. Secondly, like I'm not keeping the good posture or basically the good habits of the healthy posture that I should be having. And if I have that, definitely there are higher chances for me to get the back pain or pain somewhere else in my body. If you start working on those changes, definitely you start seeing the difference. So if you're sitting for too long, and which is equivalent to bending forward number of times a day, and once you start standing and you start walking, you see the difference in the chain, because you start breaking those bad habits. And if you make some changes in your workstation so that you get the right settings, you have the, for example, if you use the camera, you have the camera at the right height, and if you're facing the screen is at the right height, using the keyboard at the right height. So making those changes will help you in preventing the back pain, or maybe reducing the discomfort that you have been experiencing right now. Third thing is, if you don't have the back pain, the usual sequence that I usually provide to prevent the back pain is, you need to be doing something known as basically the various components of the back fitness. I usually start working with basically the mobility of the back, where I'm talking with joint motion of the back. So people tend to get confused between the mobility and the flexibility. Whenever we use the term mobility, I'm talking about the joint motion, and whenever you use the term flexibility, you're talking about the length of the muscle. Sometimes you would have heard people saying that I stretch quite a lot, but still my body stays stiff. The reason for that is they're probably working on the muscle length only, where they should be working on the joint motion as well. So first, the joint motion is the important part. Unless you have the joint moving to the full range of motion, the muscles are going to be inflexible, or they're going to be tight. Secondly, like even if you're just stretching the muscle, you will not see the difference in the length of the muscle, and you will feel like as if the body is not opening up, you're staying stiff all the time. The third component that I usually find it important to work on is working on the stability. So when I'm talking using the term stability, I'm talking about basically whether the joints or the bones are stable enough or not. When you move the body part, especially the joint, they should be stable. So for example, if I tell you there is a 55 degrees of forward bending that should come from the spine, and if the spine is doing much more than that, or it's moving quite a bit, then definitely it can cause some sort of discomfort in the back. And usually in case of stability, the static structures or the connective tissue that holds bone to bone together, known as ligaments, are usually overstretched, and they are quite flexible, overstretched, or they are not holding the bones together. So especially seeing people like who are very flexible, so they basically tend to have more motion in the joints or the bone, resulting in the feeling as if the bones or the joint is going to give away. You get the feeling as if like when you bend forward, you may not be able to come back. Okay, you feel as if it's kind of weak, it's not holding up together. So this kind of feeling you get when you have the unstable spine specifically. So again, that is the third component. Your basically your ligaments are known as the static structures or static stabilizers. Your muscles are your dynamic stabilizers. The important part about the ligament is you cannot strengthen them. So if your ligaments are like stretched out, they don't recoil back on its own. So you need to rely and work on the dynamic stabilizers, which are your muscles. So you need to really work on the deepest muscles of the core area or at the back, which are closer to the spine, and they start stabilizing the bones together. And you feel once you start working on that, you feel the difference in pain or discomfort level in your body. The fourth component is endurance. Endurance is basically how many times you're doing a particular task. Okay, so you're talking about the length of time instead of just doing few repetitions. So whenever we have to strengthen any body part or the muscles in the body, so it's important that first you work on the endurance. You make sure that you do a lightest task number of times rather than doing heavy task doing few times. Okay, so once you start working on the muscle, so if I have to bend forward number of times, that's more important, or maybe if I have to extend my spine number of times, that's more important than basically lifting heavy weight and doing just few times. So first work on the length, for the length of time the muscles can hold and work, before you start working on the strength, where you start loading the muscle with the joint with the weight, and basically making the muscle do few number of repetitions. So first work on the number of repetitions, and then slowly and gradually add the load on the muscles in terms of external weight resistance, or like if you're using any machine in the gym or anywhere else at home. So basically you start loading the muscles slowly later in the later part of the rehab or basically the training, and then work your way up to strengthen the muscles. So that's how it works. So if you follow the sequence that I told you right now, is working on the mobility first, and then followed by flexibility. Third is basically stability of the joint and the muscles, basically the bones. The fourth is building the endurance in the muscles and the muscle strength. You feel like you're really fixing the things for long term. Okay, you feel like as if you are basically feeling more stronger, feel more stable in the back. You feel as if like the back is holding up, and you feel that you getting more days where you feel less discomfort in the back or no discomfort if you follow this sequence, versus if you randomly pick up anything for the exercise, looking YouTube or online. Again, they're talking about the same symptoms or discomfort, may not help you particularly in your back pain condition. So it's important that you stay and stick with this kind of sequence of the exercise program if you start working on it. Or if you have any particular weakness in the back, you start working on it. So for example, if you are more unstable, so start working with the instability straight away instead of working on the mobility or the flexibility. As long as you know what exactly is the weak link in your body and you start working on it, you see the difference. So again, we have to make it really specific what exactly your body needs at the time of pain. But if you're in the pain prevention, this is the sequence that you should follow to prevent the back pain for long run. The third question that I get is, does the exercise help in preventing the back pain? The answer is yes. As I mentioned, like again, if you follow the sequence, starting with the mobility of the joints, then followed by the flexibility of the muscles, then stability of the joints or the bones, and then followed by the endurance building in the muscle, and later the strength, you see the back is getting stronger with the exercises. Apart from this, again, if you have any lifestyle which is causing the pain in the back or discomfort in the back, such as like if you're sitting for too long, you need to make those changes, because unless you break those bad habits or you make the changes or modification in those bad habits, no matter what, whether you're following the right exercise program or following the right routine provided by your healthcare professional, you still may not feel the difference in your pain, or you may not feel the 100% difference in your pain. So it's important that you basically break those bad habits. You just keep doing the wrong things and expect the body to respond the right way. Okay, so it's important. The fourth question that I get is, what other type of exercise should help in preventing the back pain? So again, apart from the exercises that I just mentioned in the previous question, the exercises that you should be doing is the walking, because again, it's the most fundamental exercise that anyone should do to prevent the decent amount of mobility in the back, followed mobility, stability and strength. And if you do walking, definitely the chances of getting the back pain are less. But again, having said that, there are certain conditions, especially seen in people above the age of 50 years, where there's a compression of the spinal cord and the nerve, called the condition called spinal stenosis, where the walking may sometimes increase the pain in the legs or may increase the pain in the back. So again, that we need to see and rule out. Aerobic training basically is anything which in the form of walk or like running, jogging, or cross training, cycling. So what do you mean by aerobic training is you condition your heart, you condition your lungs to function better, and if they do, you have better oxygenation in the body, better circulation in the body, and which is imperative if you would like to prevent any dysfunction in any part of the body, or usually the pain areas are having less blood supply and oxygen supply. And in general, if you're working on aerobic capacity, you're basically improving your healing capacity of the body, and you increase the pain threshold of the body. And forward bending, spine extension, again, these are the exercise depends on the type of back pain condition you have, or maybe the type of discomfort you have. If you have a lifestyle which involves too much of sitting, you should avoid forward bending. But for a certain period of time, once you start strengthening the right areas, once you get stronger, then you can do anything around that area. You can do forward bending, also you can do spine extension as well. The fifth question that I get is, does the back pain cause the pain in the legs? Again, it depends on the condition. There are certain conditions in the back. For example, if you have heard of sciatica, which is the leg pain, usually it's triggered by the disc in the lower back which has slipped from its place and it's hitting the sometimes the ligament and the muscles. If it is hitting just the ligaments and muscle, you feel the localized pain in the back. You don't feel the pain traveling in the legs. But if it basically hits the nerve in the back, then you may feel the pain traveling from the back to the leg. So again, depends on what condition you have in the back. Secondly, there are condition which is basically called the deep muscle in the buttock area called piriformis muscle. If it is very tight, it has a sciatic nerve underneath. Sometimes that muscle compresses the nerve. You may feel the pain traveling down to the leg, and the referred pain can go up in the lower back as well. So it can refer the pain up in the back, lower down in the legs. So again, once we know you have that thing, so you may feel the pain traveling down to the leg. And certain conditions if you have limited joint motion in the lower back, that can also sometimes refer the pain down to the legs if you have lack of mobility in the lower back joint, okay, called the facet joint. So the sixth question is, will I be able to ever bend forward again? Again, I get to hear this a lot, and again, you must have heard this quite frequently when the doctor must have told you that you can't bend forward if you have a slip disc. But sometimes the doctor basically, they don't give you the timeline for how long you can't do that, because again, when you see the doctors for the acute phase, usually the bending forward pushes the disc further backwards, so it can start hitting the nerve and it can increase the symptoms of pain in the back or in the legs. So that's why the doctor would tell you not to bend forward, but doesn't mean that you can't bend forward forever. So once basically the tension on the nerve or the ligament goes down, once you do better conditioning of the muscles or the ligaments around that area, you feel stronger, then slowly and gradually you can bend forward. Okay, so having the right technique, so you need to make sure that yes, you're feeling stronger and you have the well conditioning. Your techniques need to be right, the way you bend forward. And if you're bending the wrong way, definitely you can have more pressure or the impact on the disc or basically the nerve, and definitely can increase the symptoms. But if your technique is right and if you have conditioned well, your deep core muscles are strong after recovering from the disc injuries and all that, definitely again, there's no reason for us to hold you back from bending forward. You can do anything, but provided you do the right technique, you do the right conditioning, and yeah, you can do forward bending again. So you don't need to hold yourself. So what's next now is, again, first of all, I'll be doing live regularly on this Facebook group. So in case if you have any friends and family who you think may find this information helpful, you can share the link of this live stream with them, or maybe you can just ask them or invite them to join this group. And so I'm sure they are going to find tons of value and information to help them prevent injuries for long run. And that's really it. And secondly, I'll be hosting the 3-part live workshop on this group only about injury and pain prevention, about the back pain, neck pain, and shoulder back pain, shoulder, and the knee pain. I'll be posting about that live workshop in a day or two, and what will be covered in that and when exactly it will be happening. So yeah, stay tuned, and if you have any questions about today's live stream, do let me know in the comment box below. Again, let me know if you're watching this live or watching it on replays, and yeah, I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. So if you have any questions about this live stream, or any basically if you have pain and you would like to basically ask me about the pain, or if you would like to prevent any pain in a particular area, you would like to ask question about that, do put that in the comment box below, and I'll be more than happy. Probably I'll cover your question in the next live stream. So thank you so much for your time today, and I hope you found this live stream helpful. In case if you have any doubts, again, do let me know in the comment box below. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great day ahead.